What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the semi-finals of Charleston, and we've got an interesting one. Pegula versus Jovic. They've played already like twice this year. It's been they played a couple of times. Pegula's won them both. Let me check when they played in Cincinnati. They've only played once. They played in Dubai earlier in the season, and it was straight sets for Pegula, 4-2. Obviously, Jovic has had a very good year, but Pegula's had a very good year as well. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting. Pegula's played a lot of tennis this week. She's played 3-setters every single day. Jovic, I guess, playing on clay for the first time. Really, the first clay season for her, right? Proper season. Number 1 seed versus number 4 seed. Jovic has beaten Kenin, Parks, and Kalinskaya, all in straight sets. So she's had a very, not an easy road, but very cruisy road compared to Pegula, who's had to play, come back from a set down in every match that she's played. So time on court, definitely more for Pegula. And then the winner of this match will take on the winner of Keys and Starup Dubtseva. And Starup Dubtseva is the most random of names in the 4. Who got through because she took out Kessler in the quarters. So Keys took out Bencic in the quarters. So that's what's going on. How are we doing, chat? What's up? Honestly, the way Pegula has been playing this tournament, I think Jovic has a real chance to win this. I think Jovic could win this match. This is Pegula yesterday she looked very tired. After losing that first set, she looked like she was just like, I can't be bothered. But she came back and won. It was a good comeback. Jess is doing intentionally losing the first set to change the odds and doing continuously breaks in the second, third. Well, if you think that she's doing it on purpose, then just wait until she loses the first set and then bet on her, and you can cash in if you think it's on purpose, and if you know smarter, you know more than her, right? I mean, if you think it's all a grand conspiracy and it's rigged, and you're smarter than the rest of the world, I mean, for sure, you should try and use your humongous brain to to at least profit off that. This is not a betting channel, by the way. This is not a betting channel. Did I listen to Sinner's Q&A? No, I didn't. My prediction is obviously in 3. Yeah, it should be Pegula in 3, right? Jovic hasn't lost a set, so if Jovic does lose a set, how's that going to go? This could be a Pegula wins the first set and then Jovic comes back and wins. It could be like that. I kind of want Pegula Keys final. Yeah, I want that too. That'd be a great final, I think. Didn't they play? They played in Australia at the start of the year, right? Looking forward to Sinner and Rude playing doubles against each other. Yeah. That'll be fun. Dude, I bet on tennis, and that take about Pegula intentionally losing the first set is wild. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It just kind of screams like, I bet Pegula in straight sets all week and I've been losing. And now I'm mad. And now I'm like, she's doing it on purpose because she doesn't like me. She doesn't know you, bro. By the way, chat, I went to the thrift stores yesterday and I found a gem. I found I guess this is $3, chat. This. A Wimbledon, not only that, it is a proper Wimbledon. Look at this. So when I get called into the Royal Box, Roger's going to invite me one day. I can wear this. $3 at a thrift store in the middle of nowhere. How about that? How about that, chat? $3. $3. Thrift stores are life hacks. Go to a thrift store. All right. Players on court. Pegula just just getting ready to go. And then we are ready to go. And then, by the way, Monte Carlo starts tomorrow. But tomorrow, there's not really anything going on except for Kwame playing. That's the only thing. Are you going fancy dress as a Wimbledon's linesman? Well, that's not a thing anymore, so nobody would know what that was. They'd be like, what are you dressed as? Linesman. What's that? That's not a thing anymore. It's unfortunate. Awesome fight, I know, right? It's pretty crazy. I watched Hoda earlier. This guy is good, not gonna lie. Oh yeah, he is good. He is very good. The billionairess clearly has stakes in manipulating the gaming market. I'm going to take that as a joke and say, that's funny. That's a funny joke, right? That's definitely a joke. I'm sure that was a joke. Please be a joke. By the way, people talk about Linz. The draw hasn't come out yet. I mean, the draw would come out as soon as I go live. That makes sense, but also the draw hasn't come out yet. Because if it had come out, Gene would have and Dutchie would have sent me it. It was a joke. I know, Tony. That's what I was saying. I'm just going to take everything in the chat as a joke today. Except for that one guy who said something really silly. I mean, I could probably. How do I do this? Man. I haven't done a tie for a while. Hang on. They're just warming up, by the way. When is the draw for... Yeah, I think the draw for Linz is today. They said 2 or 3 days. Eala's playing next week. Oof. This is not going to end well. Yeah. Hang on. I went to a public school. We didn't wear ties. I only have to wear ties when I have to go to weddings. Give me a break. Leave me alone. Stop laughing. I'm doing this when I'm not even looking. Why the hell is it too small? Hang on, chat. We'll get there. I need to learn so I can go sit with Roger. What moment to join? Don't worry, we're all here. Looks to me like trying to put on a tie. I am. But yeah, the draw hasn't come out for Linz, so I don't know why someone's pretending like there is a match going on in Linz, because it's not. So Danny, don't be a liar. Or send it to me on Twitter, otherwise it doesn't count. There we go. Ta-da! I'm now Royal Box material. It's a little short, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. Paul Tiafo is going to be a banger. Yeah, that'd be fun. Houston's also such a weird tournament. It's always such a weird event because of it's just basically the Americans playing a clay event. Houston, I think, used to be... Andy Roddick, I think, won it like 5 times. So I think he even joked about how Houston was like, in terms of like, Monte Carlo preparation, it's not the same. Here we go. I have no idea who's serving. Same time zone for Monte Carlo and Linz this coming week. Nice, yeah. Well, we just had daylight savings literally like an hour ago. Changed the clock. So I woke up at 2 o'clock, and then when it got to 3 o'clock, it went back to 2 o'clock, and now it's 3 o'clock. So I didn't get an hour back. I just got an extra hour of staying awake. By the way, what's the weather like in Monte Carlo? Because it looks really shitty on the TV. Is it bad weather in Monte Carlo? What's up? Oh, no, that's all right. It's cold. It's going to be a cold week in Monaco. Tiafoe, he saved match point yesterday, right, against Popperin. Also, isn't Foe and Popperin playing in Monte Carlo next week? How are they going to get there? Foe's not playing in Monte Carlo next week. There's no way. He did? Okay. By the way, Gene, the draw hasn't come out for Linz, has it? All right. Jovic to serve. Let's see if Pegula goes 3 again. Okay, it hasn't come out good. So, yeah, Danny, that's your second warning. All right. I'm going to go Pegula in 3 because obviously. Jovic serves into the back of Pegula. Jovic with the backhand into the backhand of Pegula. Jovic backhand again, the back of Pegula. Pegula in the net, 15-love. He saved the match point. Yeah, he saved. It was. I saw like the tiebreak was like he saved one in the tiebreak, right? Oh, 15-love. As Jovic serves in the front of Pegula, return the front of Jovic. Pegula hits it long and it's 30-love. 30-love. What is JPEG Sabalenka head-to-head? I think it's like 9-2. They're not playing this week, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, next week, by the way, we've got 2 tournaments on next week, which is kind of chill. We've got Linz and we've got Monte Carlo, but we've also got Billie Jean King Cup, which is actually in Melbourne next weekend. So I might even try and see what happens. I might be able to go to it next week. 4-1 up the line from Jovic, and it's 40-love. Australia versus Great Britain, but I don't know who's playing. So I know like Raducanu and stuff's not playing, but 40-love. Jovic is playing Billie Jean King Cup? Wow, okay. I don't know who's playing for Great Britain or Australia. I think Joint must be playing. I think it must be Joint playing. $40-love. Backhand there by Pegula. It's 1-love to Jovic. All right. Nice haircut, Cam. Thank you. I haven't had one, but it's just the same. I've had the haircut that I've had for the last couple of weeks. Nothing has changed. Jovic has the making of a future Slam champion. She definitely has the future of a champion of, yeah. By the way, Pegula spent 2.5 hours extra on court. 7.5 hours for Pegula in 3 matches. 5 hours for Jovic in 3 matches. So there's the difference. So Pegula's going to have to probably get through this in straights. I mean, you don't want to play more tennis than you have to. Not at this stage. One love. What a fault second serve. Second serve. Into the forehand of Jovic. Forehand of Pegula. Forehand of Jovic. Up the line of the back of Pegula slice. Jovic comes in and puts away the forehand. Love 15. But has Pegula not won a point? Is that 5 in a row? Old versus young. Who wins? Calling Pegula old is wild. That is wild. Love 15. As the return goes into the backhand of Pegula, but Pegula hits out love 30. She hasn't won a point. She has not won a point. Love 30. Pegula serves again. A fault. By the way, chat, don't forget to get your teams in tomorrow. For Monte Carlo, you got 17 hours to get your teams in for tomorrow. 400 rally. Slice from Pegula goes out, and it's love 40. She has not won a point. Pegula has not won a point. Trent Gilletti, age 36, got to an ATP final today. Yeah, I heard that. That's awesome. Burukanga Kanjo, I don't know how to say his name. He won. That's great. Nice. As the return goes into the forehand, but it's out by Jovic, and there's the first point for Pegula, 15-40. 15-40. Also, chat, don't forget to join the league. We've got 50 people in the league. Hell yeah. All right, that goes in the net by Pegula, and there's the break. 2-love, Jovic. By the way, chat, I just want to say this about the ATP Fantasy. You've got less than 24 hours to join. Make sure you join, because it is going to be a lot of fun. My team, I've had to change like 7 times. I'm worried about, oh God, should I pick this guy? Should I pick that guy? I'm still not convinced of my team. I've got like, I have a strategy, but I'm just like, you know. I think like everybody else, it's like you just kind of go, well, how does this game work and what's the best way to do it? I also want to win tickets to the ATP finals, so. But I'm pretty happy with my team. Leon, yeah. That was an obvious one, yep. 15 love. I'm pretty happy with my team, though. I'm just there's like 2 people that I'm worried about. One on the bench and one on the field. I'm like, there's Pegula to win up the line, 15-all. Yeah, there's just 2 guys that I'm worried about. Just because they can be worrying. If Feast was playing, he would be on my team too. All right, return goes into the backhand of Jovic, but Jovic, hit the line. I think Pegula had an air swing. No, it went out. She had an air swing, but it was out anyway. 15-30. Both my alternates lost in qualies today, so I didn't need to change them. Yeah, that's definitely a good idea. I'll say this, chat. If you put somebody on your team and it says not in action, change them, because you don't want to start this tournament off. You don't want to start this competition with having inactive players. Like, you want everybody on your team to be playing this week in Monte Carlo. That's like, do not get players that are not active. It is so dumb. And then, because next week you just change them. Like, you can just go, okay, well, next week, you also got to, I'm giving away too much. Anyways, 400 there, Pegula, 30-all. You also got to look ahead, right? And I'm giving you these tips now because, because I want one of us to win the whole thing, even if, it's not me. I want one of us to win. So, and I'll put, if you haven't joined, make sure you join. But, hang on, that's not going to work. Uh, 30-all. As Pegula tries to break back, slice up the line to the forehand of Jovic. Backhand of Pegula. Into the backhand of Jovic. As Pegula with a drop with a slice. Jovic backhand again goes in the net, and it's 30-40, break back point. you also got to look at next week, because if you pick players that are only going to play in Monte Carlo and they're not going to play in Barcelona or Munich, then you're not going to have enough people to trade. You're not going to be able to trade people out next week, because the deal is you only get 2 switches a week. So if you have 6 players on the field and 4 of them don't play next week, you are going to have a lot. Next week's going to be a problem. So make sure that you pick players that are going to play next week. Now, if there's injuries, you have to deal with that. But make sure that you pick. These are my tips. 1, you pick a full team this week. Don't pick anyone who's not playing. There's no point. You're just wasting spots, right? And 2, make sure that you put players that are also playing in Barcelona or Munich, so that way you don't have to make too many trades. And next week you actually have still have a team. You don't want to, because then Madrid happens, Rome you're fine. I don't know how it's going to work before Roland Garros, but then Roland Garros. So but it's really important that you put a team together that's also playing next week. So for example, Jannik Sinner's not playing next week. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. If you pick Jannik Sinner this week, he's not playing next week. Alcaraz is. Just keep that in mind. You got to look 1 week ahead. At least when you're starting the team. Eventually, you're gonna have to figure out how to trade out players and shit like that. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Deuce. You got to keep one eye on what's going on next week. As a forehand out from Pegula into the backhand slice of Jovic. Pegula with a forehand into the slice of Jovic. Jovic in the net, and it's advantage Pegula. Zverev and Alcaraz are both playing next week as well. Exactly. But you've also got to remember that Zverev doesn't play well in Munich. I'm giving all the secrets now, but you got to remember that Zverev also isn't very good in Munich. So that's something to consider as well. Sinner might not be playing, Zverev might not be winning, so then do you go with somebody else? Alcaraz feels like a no-brainer, but some people might want to not pick Alcaraz out of spite. Yeah, because he's too good. And Musetti's injured, so he was injured, so do you pick him? He might. I don't know if he's playing next week though. Is Musetti playing Barca? I don't know. Just things to consider. As with a slice now from Pegula, Jovic goes up the line. Pegula with a slice lob, and then a forehand winner by Jovic. We'll get back to deuce. So yeah, just things to consider. At least that's what I'm considering in the formation of my team. But then if you get an injury, then you're really screwed, because then you got to force to make trades. Sorry, swaps, switches. I'm going to call them trades just because it's easier. It makes sense to trade. How do we find out if they play next week? You got to look at the entry list for next week. So you got to look at the entry list for Barcelona and Munich, and that way, if you look at the entry list, you can then see who's playing or who's meant to be playing. Obviously, withdrawals happen, but it gives you a rough idea of who's on the schedule next week. Like Alcaraz is playing Barcelona, for example. Good that you're telling us all this. Well, I want us to do well as a community. So, that's what I'm here for. It was funny. I saw that the Nothing Major podcast were also talking about it. And they were really for it as well. So I'm excited. They weren't talking about what we're talking about right now, but they were talking about how there's an ATP Fantasy League. Yeah. I don't know how good their team is, but they might change it. But initially I'm they were very, look, they're going to pick a lot of the American guys, which is cool. But also on clay, I don't know. It's Pegula in the end, deuce. But we're going to learn about this together, and I'm excited because I think it's a really cool, concept that every other sport seems to have. So now we can do other sport. We've played fantasy tennis before, but now it's like an ATP one, which is really interesting. Hopefully WTA get into it as well. As that backhand goes to the net. But we need a combined, right? We need one that's WTA and ATP. Or we need to be able to make 2 teams. So you can make an ATP and a WTA team, and then But you don't want to manage 2 teams. You want to manage 1 team, I guess. Maybe you can make 1 big team of like 12 people. It's a lot more work, but... All right, advantage Pegula. As the backhand return goes the backhand of Jovic. Backhand of Pegula. Up the line to the forehand of Jovic is Pegula with the forehand again. The forehand of Jovic. To the slice of Pegula. Jovic with the forehand again. Pegula sliced again. Backhand as Jovic comes to the net with the backhand inside out. Great shot. Pegula gets there, but it's in the net and it's back to deuce. All right. All right, hang on. Now I need to check out the qualities. See, I was going to pick some players that were in the qualities of Monte Carlo, but now I'm a little worried. Because if they lost, I might not pick them. Oh, like Capriva and Bouze were on my radar because they played well in February, but they lost. So they lost. So it's a little bit that's a bit unfortunate. All right, deuce. RBA. I kind of want to pick Blocks, but where's he? Where's he at? Is he a clay? Can he play on clay? Is Blocks a clay guy? He's had a pretty decent season. 91 in the world. All right, advantage Pegula. She comes in that 5th break point of the game, by the way, and that's a great passing shot winner by Jovic. And we get with the deuce. Yeah, I don't think Blocks is much of... he was a challenger clay guy last year. Played some challenges last year. Maybe I'm going to write him... I need to put his name down, just in case. All right, deuce. Was it a 4-1 rally? Pegula with the backhand to the back of the Jovic. Jovic, very nice shot down the line. Pegula gets it back. Jovic forehand again. The forehand Pegula. There's Jovic with a slice forehand. Pegula with the backhand up the line. Comes to the net. Up with a lob. Pegula backhand is too good. And it's advantage Pegula. Quinn ain't bad. Solid on clay. Yeah, fair enough. Why not read comment why he joined 4 rounds later? I have no idea what you just said. Goffin beat Bouze. Yeah, he's on my... Goffin's on my... Obviously on the radar too, right? All right, volley goes in from Jovic and we're back to deuce. 6 break points saved. Who am I picking for Anisimova's new coach? I don't know. I mean, Wim Fizette is the highest profile coach available. And obviously Mouratoglou's there too. Maybe Brad Gilbert. Those, it doesn't feel like Anisimova would go with someone that, maybe she would go. She tried to get Darren Cahill and then Cahill ended up going to Sinner. But maybe she will get someone who's a little bit more low-key. I don't know if she'll get a high-profile coach. I'm talking like, a known coach. Maybe she'll get someone who's a little bit more low-key. But I don't know who that would be. As that goes the net by Jovic, and it's Pegula. Another break point here. 7th break point of the game. All right, serve again. Into the forehand Pegula. Forehand from Jovic. To the backhand of Pegula. Jovic to the backhand of the forehand of Pegula. Into the backhand of Jovic. Pegula backhand. Again to the backhand of Jovic. Pegula backhand again. Into the backhand of Jovic up the line. That's a great shot. Jovic. Jeez. She's hitting some good shots when she needs to. We're back to deuce. All right, deuce. Oh, blocks is 2 coins. He's a little too expensive. I thought he was 1. Can't be getting a quality that's two coins. All right. Winner down the line from Jovic. She gets to advantage to go to 3-love. Have I seen Project Hail Mary yet? I did, yeah. I saw it last week. It was great. What players are currently on your team? It's a good question. I'll give you one. Alcaraz is on my team. I have got Carlos Alcaraz on my team. Advantage Jovic. No, I'm not giving anything away. I'm not giving away my team. I've made some choices. So I'm all right, double fault Jovic, back to deuce. Don't worry, when we go live tomorrow to watch Monte Carlo, I'll show you my team when it's all locked in. The ATP Fantasy League is for the entire year. So you make a team tomorrow or today, and you don't touch that team for the rest of the year, it goes every week of the year. But it goes in swings. So you have like the clay swing is going to be one part of the year, grass, North American hardcourt, and then the end of this, like I think it's called like Road to the Finals or something. So there's four different seasons within the season. But it's a week-to-week thing. So like every week you have the same players, but you don't have to make a new team every week, is what I'm getting at. You get 8 players to start, and then every week you can change 2 of them. I don't know how many trades you get for the season, though. So, yeah. So that's why it's hard, because you can't just pick, like, who's going to win Monte Carlo, because it depends on who wins next week as well and the week after. Like, you can't just pick a good Monte Carlo team and then redo your team. Well, you could, but you can only do that so many times. And that would be you got to think, like, a couple of weeks ahead. So you need some people that are, like, reliable, or you think are going to do well in the next, couple of weeks. So yeah, the clay season is part of it. Yeah, you want to probably pick players that are good on clay, at least for the next couple of months. Anyways, Jovic finally holds with some good serving, and it's 3-love. That game was a marathon. Why is Monte Carlo starting on a Sunday? Why is that a thing? Because we haven't even finished qualifying yet, and they're playing first round matches. By the way, I have no idea what we watch tomorrow, because maybe we'll watch Kwame. Might give a chance to watch him tomorrow. He's the only guy I'm looking at tomorrow that makes it interesting. Or Sinner. We could watch Sinner play doubles. He's playing doubles first thing, so maybe we'll watch Sinner play doubles. Yeah, but because how's this? Hang on a second. So how are we going to do? Okay, but how? Okay. So if you put Quinn in your team, right, and I'm giving free chat. I should be charging for this. This is free advice for your team. You might win a trip to the ATP Finals based on this knowledge. If you pick Quinn, but then the deadline, because the deadline ends in like 18 hours, right, or 17 hours. So you got it. Like, if you pick Quinn, he hasn't even qualified yet. So if you pick Quinn, and then he loses to Comasagna because the deadline comes in, and I wouldn't be picking Quinn at the moment. Like, it's a risk because he might not even qualify. Comasagna he can play. So like, if you pick Quinn, and then he loses, you can't change him because the deadline is before he plays his final, which is crazy because usually, like, that's crazy that the deadline should be after the qualies is done. And then you pick. But the deadline's going to cut off at the first thing tomorrow, right? So if you're picking like anyone who's not qualified, that's so risky. Unless you put them on your bench and then make them an alternate and hope that they win. Because the deadline's in 18 hours, right? Which is like before the first match tomorrow, right? Yeah. All right, Pegula 30 love. So that's like, just remember that. Like if you've got Quinn and you're like, hey, I want to put him on the field, he isn't even in the draw yet. He's only in the qualies, so you got to be ready. Same with Goffin, same with Blocked, right? I just said I want to pick him, but he's a bit expensive. Any of the people, like all the qualifiers, we haven't got the qualifiers locked in yet, so just keep that in mind. If you put a couple of qualies on your team, you won't be able to change them if they don't qualify. But the deadline's before which is silly. Why the deadline should be after the qualies. So that's you got to consider that. Might be worth the risk, but also, and we don't know where the qualies are playing either because Berrettini's playing a qualifier in the first round. So again, I would not. You know what? I would not be going near the qualies. I would not be touching a qualifier this week in my team. I know because if you got a qualifier and they play Berrettini first round, that's awkward. Or Cilic, right? You could get a qualifier playing Kaboli first round or Lehechka. Right? So, and you don't, I do not feel comfortable picking a qualifier in my team on week 1 when the qualifiers haven't been decided, also haven't been placed. It's definitely not worth doing that. That's too risky. Because just for example, what if you pick a qualifier? First, they don't qualify, then you just got a big 0. Or they qualify and then they play somebody who's in your team already. Like, let's say you have Lehechka because he's been playing well. What if you pick Quinn and then Quinn plays Lehechka first round? Friendly fire. And now you're just one of you guys going to lose. So, it's way too risky. That's not worth it to me. I'm not risking that. Plus, there's plenty of good players that are not qualies that you can pick that are cheap. That are in the draw already. You don't have to even worry about them not making the draw because they're in the first round. Anyway, 15 love. See, chat. This is not a simple game. 15. You chat. We're taking this serious. Double fault Jovic. 15-0. Yeah, picking a qualifier would be so risky. Don't worry though, chat. We'll talk about this more tomorrow. I get to see your teams tomorrow too because when the teams are locked in 17 hours, we can all check each other's teams out. So I can look at all your teams and be like, oh, okay, interesting. All right, 15-0 by the way. 4-4 rally. As with a 4 now from Jovic. Again, the 4 Pegula up the line to the back of Jovic. Into the back of Pegula. That's a good shot. Jovic with the slice goes wide. And it's 15-30. Remember, Jovic just played a marathon game, saved about 7 break points. So let's see what she can do. It will be interesting. Oh, yeah. I'm so pumped for this. We've been mucking around with fantasy tennis for the last couple of years through different websites and stuff. So it's fun to do like an official ATP one. And be able to all join, and it's free, so we can all join it and we can all just muck around with it and have some fun. Apparently next year, like this is like a trial run, so next year it's going to be more involved. But this is like fantasy tennis is fun. Back in rally. Especially when they get prizes too, you know. Sort of forehand down the line from Jovic. That's a good shot. Pegula with a slice. Jovic comes in with a forehand and puts it wide, and Pegula gets 2 more break points. All right, 2 more break chances for Pegula. She's had 7 break points already. This is her 8th break point. Hasn't converted 1 yet. 15-40. As Jovic serves. Into the backhand, but it's a fault. All right, second serve. As we get a forehand out from Jovic up the line to the backhand of Pegula. And then Pegula does break. Jovic hits it out. All right. All right. All right. I started my drinking game again for every time Cam says muck around, but all in good fun, Cam. So when I say muck around, is that what you muck around? When I say, is it muck around? Every time I say muck around, you've got to drink. Okay. It's good to know. Muck around. With an M, right? Muck around. As Jovic hits a return. Winner, love 15. I think that was about 6, right? You're not going to make the end of the stream. Love 15. Muck around, muck around, muck around, muck around, muck around. It's game over. Sorry. It's game over. 15 all. Responsibly, of course. All right, 15 all. There's a forehand now from Jovic. That's a great shot. 15-30. We can drink in Cincinnati. Appreciate the streams. Hey, I'm not playing this game. I'm not drinking. No, thank you for the laughs. 15-30. By the way, do we know when the Linz draw is coming out? That's the only other tournament we've got next week. Double fault from Pegula, 15-40. Surprised we're not watching TP versus Big Foe. Yeah. I mean, it's annoying that it's on at the same time, but yeah. It is what it is. I mean, this could be a top 10 clash, in the future. That's a former top 10 clash, I guess, but yeah, scheduling just kind of ruined it. 15-40 as Jovic hits it out, 30-40. As we're backhand rally. Slice from Pegula is good. Jovic backhand up the line, goes long, and we get the deuce. Okay. We get the deuce. The drinking game one, yeah, that's it. All right, we get the deuce. By the way, is what's going on with the qualities of Monte Carlo? Have they finished for the day? Oh, they have. An advantage, Pegula. I was going to pick Kaya to go on my team, but I don't. He lost, so I'm not going to. So that changes everything. But is Hoda playing Monte Carlo? No. Anyways, backhand from Jovic goes out and 3-0. Pegula levels. Oh, Myshak pulled out. That's a shame. Who was he playing? He was playing someone decent, wasn't he? Oh, Vachereau. Oh, God. If Vachereau wasn't playing Musetti in the second round, I'd consider it. Ooh, but do I consider it anyway? Vachereau plays a lucky loser. Winner plays Musetti. So this is the hard part, chat. Draw comes out Easter Sunday for Linz. Oh, Tom, how do you know that? I couldn't find any information. Where did you find that? So wait, you're saying I can go to sleep after this? And the draw comes out when I wake up. That's perfect. I couldn't find any information about it. I could only it just kept on saying it's going to come out a couple of days before the first day. Left 15 is Pegula goes into the forehand of Jovic. Forehand of Pegula up the line. Jovic there with the slice. Pegula comes in with a volley, but it's in the net. 15-0. Hoda's in the semifinals today. Yeah, but I need him for next week. I just don't know how good Musetti's playing. I want to pick Vachereau at home because I think it. But I'm also you got to remember that like you're a general manager of your team. That's what we're playing. This is called fantasy. This is fantasy sports. You're the general manager. You can't be picking sentimental favorites. Like you can't be like, oh well, I like this guy. Well, you can, but you're also probably not going to win if you pick the players you like. Trust me, I know. I know this from experience. But like, I want to pick Vachereau because it's like at home. But he's playing Musetti, and Musetti, if he's healthy, should beat Vachereau. You know, like if Vachereau wasn't playing a top 4 guy in the second round, I'd be like, hey, maybe. But then does Musetti? What if Musetti withdraws? Then Vachereau might make the quarters. Vachereau's not cheap though. He's seven bucks. 15-30. Yeah, how fit is Musetti? That's the question, right? Could Vachereau beat Musetti? Maybe he could. Oh, I didn't pick Vachereau because he's playing Myshak and I was a little scared. But Myshak's out. There's a point in there from Jovic. We got break points for Pegula to get the lead here. When was the last time Musetti won back-to-back matches, though? Like, has he played much? I know he hasn't played much, but like, what was his... He didn't... Okay, so he lost in the first round of Indian Wells, but then he didn't play Miami. Musetti hasn't played... He's played one match since Australian Open retirement. Anyways, good serve from Jovic. One save, 30-40. You know what I wish they had on the website? I wish they had like a countdown timer rather than just being saying like 17 hours. I wish it was like actually like ticking down. I'm sure they'll get there. Like it's still brand new, but that'd be fun. Anyways, Jovic gets the deuce. All right, we get the deuce. As that goes for a winner from Jovic. Advantage Jovic to get back the lead. I'll tell you, that Musetti de Minaur section is tough. If you can pick the right player to get to the semis from that, if you have that person in your team, it could be Vachereau, it could be Darderi, it could be Caboli, it could be Demon, right? It could be Hurkacz. If you pick the right guy from that section and you have that guy in your team and it's not Musetti or de Minaur, you won the week. Like that's probably the most crucial selection of your team. As Jovic holds 4-3. Because there's a lot of players that you could make the semis of Monte Carlo, right? Musetti and de Minaur are the favourites, but you could put Darderi, you could put Caboli, you could put Hurkacz, you could put Marijan, you could put Vachereau, Shapovalov, Norrie, Menchik, right? All of those guys. If you can pick the right semi-finalists from that section, your team is going to be much better than everybody else's. That's where I feel like the difference will be. Because everyone's going to pick Alcaraz, everyone's going to pick Sinner, maybe. Maybe people try and pick Zverev. But if you can get that section right, and it's not Musetti or de Minaur, and you get the other, you pick the right guy. Like if you pick Darderi and he makes the semis, or you pick Vachereau and he makes the semis, that might be where it's won and lost. Did you see the Rockies hot dog I sent you, Cam? You mean the humongous hot dog? Yeah. Feastraper, Menchik, Runa, Ben, Fonseca, Tien, the young guns. Oh, yeah. Menchik might have a breakthrough to get back up the rankings. Yeah, maybe. Darderi was just knocked out. No. We're talking about next week in Monte Carlo. No, not Runa. I didn't say Runa. Runa's playing in... Apparently, Runa's coming back in Madrid. Zverev is a solid against top 10 players outside the top 10. Okay, then put him in your team. That's a no-brainer. All right. 4-3. As Pegula lose the first point, love 15. All right, 15 all. God, I really want to pick Vacheron now. I've talked myself into it. I've talked myself into picking Vacheron. I'm like, how can I make this work? Especially if he's at home with the crowd, and it depends. Is he going to get nervous though, right? Because some people play terrible at home. All right, 30-15. As a backhand return goes a forehand of Pegula. Pegula hits it long. 30-0. If Vacheron wasn't 7 coins, I'd probably try and get him. But 7's a lot. All right, 30-0. That's Pegula with a good serve. 40-30. How much is Caboli? I think Caboli is expensive too. He's 12. Man, he's expensive. Because, I mean, that's another part of the game. You might be trying to win like week to week, but you've also got to pick players that might go up and down in value. And that's based on rankings. So you got to remember, like, again, this is where this thing gets real complicated. Like, this isn't just like, oh, well, who do I pick to win this week? No. You've got to look towards next week because you've only got a certain amount of trades per week. You've also got to look at ranking because if you pick a player that is currently ranked 20 in the world and they lose points from last year and they drop down to number 30, you're going to lose coins, which means they're going to be worth less to trade. You got to remember that as well. There's a lot to consider. A 4-4 rally, and also the opposite's true, right? You might want to pick somebody who's cheap that goes up in value because they do well, or they go up the rankings, right? So somebody who's maybe underranked, right? Somebody who might be lower ranked than they really should be when they are their best, right? There's a few of those players around. And advantage Pegula. Like, I'll give you a tip for free. I wouldn't be picking. I'm very scared to pick Demonor because he hasn't been the greatest player on clay over the years, and if he drops down the rankings, he's going to lose a lot of value. So then you can't trade up to get somebody else. So yeah, things to consider. Anyways, back to Deuce. If I can figure out how to put Vacheron on my team, I might. I just might. If I can find out a good reason to pick him, I will pick him. As with a 4-4 rally, I tell you, Musetti pulls out of the tournament tomorrow, I'm picking Vacheron. Straight away, I'm just like, get him in the team. If Musetti pulls out, by the way, Musetti's somebody that I probably wouldn't put in my team. One, because he's been injured lately, but two, he's got a lot of points to defend, which means if he doesn't, he might drop down the rankings, which means he loses value. He could be number 10 in the world by the end of the week. And if that's the case, then his value will drop by 12 coins. You don't want that. Don't pick Musetti. It's too risky. Anyways, up goes a lob, but it's in the net by Jovic, and we're back to this. Yeah, Musetti could go from 27 coins down to 15. He is not on my team. Musetti is too risky. Plus, also, he has to. That's only the value side. If he has to also play well at the tournament, and there's no guarantee he even does that, right? Like, he's got a lot of points to defend, and that scares me. What college did I go to? I didn't go to college. I mean, I went to university. We don't have college here. Return goes in the forehand of Pegula. Jovic forehand. Pegula got the advantage here. As with a forehand rally. Jovic forehand again to the forehand. Pegula slice. Jovic Forehand again to the forehand of Pegula. Pegula in the net. Back to deuce. Back to deuce. Back to deuce. There's a forehand from Jovic. Oh, she hits it long, and it's advantage Pegula. How much is Tabilo? I think Tabilo's 3 or 4 coins, maybe. All right, there's a bit of forehand slice from Jovic. Pegula forehand inside out winner, and we're at 4-all in the second. Or in the first, sorry. It's been a long set. All right, 4-4. Almost an hour played already. Okay. All right. 4-4. It's been a very competitive set. 1 second, chap. Jovic backhand into the backhand Pegula. Jovic backhand again. Pegula with a drop shot winner. Nice. All right, is it a 4-4 rally? Jovic up the line. Beautiful shot. 15-0. $15-all. As we return from Pegula, Jovic gets a forehand, goes long, 15-30. Pegula hasn't won a first set for a while. Hasn't won a first set all week. All right, 30-15. Serve into the back end of Pegula. Forehand from Jovic. Into the forehand of Pegula. Jovic forehand to the forehand of Pegula again. As Pegula hits a winner down the line. 30-0. All right, 30-0 as that goes in the net by Pegula. Good serve from Jovic. And it's 40-30. to get back the lead. As we're backing up from Jovic to the back of Pegula. Jovic forehand into the front of Pegula. As Jovic on the stretch. Hits in the net and we get back to deuce. Another game, another deuce. Did you hear my Popperin story? No? I think the draw's 10:30. Yeah, somebody said 10:30 in the chat, but I just don't know where. Oh, is that the thing that you just sent me? I can't read German, so I don't know. Let me triple check. Somebody in the chat earlier said that it was 10:30 tomorrow a.m. As Pegula gets to advantage. All right. As a backhand rally, Pegula trying to get the break. And then she'll get a chance to serve for it. And she does get the break. Jovic hits in the net. And it's 5-4 Pegula. Serve of the set and just under an hour. Marathon. All right, let me have a look at what's up. All right, so so the draw does. So yeah, thanks Gene for sending me that. That helps. Apparently, the draw comes out tomorrow. Easy. Jovic didn't hear. Ella needs sleep. Have I lost weight? No. I'm just wearing an Allen Iverson shirt. All right, 5-4. And to the backhand from Pegula. Into the backhand of Jovic. Pegula backhand. Into the backhand of Jovic. Jovic goes up the line and wide. And it's 15-love. I really hope that this there's like a live score update for this fantasy league thing, because that would be fun. So then we're watching matches next week. We can actually track it in real time. I hope it's live. By the way, one in the chat if you've seen one battle after another, because I want to talk about it. 15 hours, that goes the net by Pegula. 15:30. Pegula is getting 2 weeks off after this tournament before Madrid. Yeah, she's not playing for a couple of weeks, so she'll get that break. What's the code to join? Great question. It's right here. Two are not interested in seeing it. Well, you should see it. It's a great movie. 30-0. As Pegula tries to win this first set, it's been a marathon. Yeah, click the link, join the league. We've got about 50 people in the league, which is really good. As it'll find out to the backhand of Pegula, backhand from Jovic, into the backhand of Pegula. Jovic backhand goes wide. And it's set point Pegula, 40-30. Set point for Pegula to take the first set for the first time this week. As she serves a fault. Second serve. As return goes out, Pegula wins the first. First in the bag. Okay. 6-4 in an hour. There was that third game, which was really, really long, but yeah. Long first set. 6-4. Going to see Dune in December? Cool. All right, 8 winners and 10 errors by Pegula. 2 out of 11 break points converted. Jovic, 11 winners, 14 errors. And 1 out of 5 converted on the break points. That was a marathon. That was a proper marathon. All right. Now, so what time does... So Sinner plays doubles tomorrow. Okay. That's the first match of tomorrow's Monte Carlo. So what the hell time is it in? So if is it 6 o'clock? Wait, hang on. How do I convert this time zones? Okay. So if it's 10:30 in Austria, it's 6:30 in Australia. Is that what I'm reading? Daylight savings just happened, so is that a problem? Is that right? What time is it, chat? What time is it right now, chat? In what time? If you're in Europe, what time is it in Europe right now? Not in the UK. If you're from like Italy, it's 8 p.m. Okay, so it's 4 a.m. my time. So what's that mean? 8 p.m. in Paris. Okay. It was 8 p.m. in Paris and it's 4 a.m. here. That means... How many... Is that 10 hours? No. Maybe. Yeah. 10 hours behind, right? No. 8 hours behind. No, 8 hours behind. 8 hours. 8 hours. Has daylight savings not happened yet? In Europe? It happened last week, didn't it? All right, Jovic losing the first point, love 15. Okay. Clock's already changed in Europe. Okay, so it's 8 hours. Why does that seem... Oh, you know what I'm getting confused with? Because usually when it's like during the summer months in Australia, it's like 11 hours difference. But now it's closer in the winter. So that, for me, my winter. So that makes sense. So we get closer. That's good. All right. No, I'm a little tired. It's been a 4-1 winner from Jovic, and it's 15-0. Cool. Okay, so 8 hours. So that means if it's 10 o'clock a.m., it's 6 o'clock my time. p.m. Good to know. All right, backhand lob by Pegula, but Jovic puts it away, 30-15. All right. $30-15. We're serve again from Jovic. Hey, what's up, Belinda? How you doing? Do you get snow in Australia? Yeah. Sometimes. Not where not in the city, but like up in the mountains. We got purple snow here on Mars. Are you high? Maybe just stop eating those mushrooms. 40-15. As with a backhand rally, now into the forehand of Pegula. Pegula in the net. Jovic, nope. Yes. Wait, did it go in or out? What happened? Hello? All right, one love Jovic. One love Jovic. I have my last $150. Who will win, guys? You know what? Instead of putting your last $150 on a gambling, you should put that $150 to good use instead of pissing it away. But also, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know anything about, you do you. But I would suggest if it's your last $150, you should probably not spend it. Save it for a rainy day, maybe. Just in case. And Greg's like, Jovic. No shame. Greg's like, I don't care. Too bad, too sad. Jovic. 50. Savage. Backhand rally. And Pegula ends up winning the point. As Pegula serves a let. There's a backhand rally. Slice from Jovic is up into the sky, and Pegula comes into the net. Jovic to the pass, but Pegula volleys it away. 30-love. Responsibly, yeah. Jovic responsibly. Cam, would you say that Pegula's playstyles are offensive or defensive? I would say that she is a counterpuncher. That's how I would best describe her. So she's great defensively, but then she can turn the point around and win the point with hitting a winner. I feel like she is a counterpuncher. Like if she hits a good serve and the ball's short, she can put it away, but she's also a good defender when she needs to be, and then can turn the points around. That's how I would describe Pegula. I don't think she's a more offensive player, because the offensive players that I think of are like Raducanu and Isamova and Sabalenka and those players that dominate the baseline. I wouldn't say she dominates the baseline, but she definitely has a good defense, and she can turn that into offense really, really well. If you only have $150 left, you might as well have fun before you croak, surely. Well, I don't think they're... I mean, that's... Okay. Well, but what if they don't croak? And they've got to, like, wake up tomorrow and live another, like, 50 years? Then why would you... You shouldn't be betting your last anything. Like, you... Jesus, guys. All right. What are we doing? 15 love. That's crazy. Come on now. Responsibly, everybody. All right, 15 all. As the return goes in the forehand of Jovic. Forehand now from Pegula. Jovic forehand again at the forehand of Pegula. Slice. Jovic with a forehand again to the forehand of Pegula. Jovic comes in with a volley, and that's just too good. Beautiful volley by Jovic. 30-15. Pegula has a charity called A Lending Paw. They train service dogs. Put your money there. Well, there you go, yeah. Need Pegula for 469. Damn. Jovic. 30-15. As the return goes in the forehand of Jovic. Jovic puts it away. 40-15. $40-15. As Jovic comes to the net, puts it away. 2-1. Welcome back, Cam. Thank you. Welcome to you as well. By the way, chat, Essendon are playing tomorrow, and they're playing while we're live. And I'm a bit worried. So, tomorrow, when we watch Monte Carlo Day 1, just be aware that I will also be watching my Essendon Football Club, which is always such a joy. If you've ever been a part of those streams, you'll know. If we win, though, I'll be in a very good mood. If we lose, well, I wouldn't know because we were not going to watch it. I refuse to watch them lose. 0-19 coming up. Hey, Dutchie, what the hell, man? What the hell? Why would you say that? Yeah, let's get to 500 likes. How many likes we got? We're almost at 200. Appreciate that. Eva won. Who? She's still playing. Jovic is still playing. I don't know what she's talking about. All right, 2-1. Extra company. That's right, Dutchie. Jovic. Well, she won the game. She hasn't won the match yet. As we just served now from Pegula. Cam, I just bet my kids' lunch money for the week. Under 1.5 breaks for Tiafo and under 3.5 breaks for Jovic. I mean, that sounds like irresponsible parenting, but I wouldn't know. So I'm not a parent, so I can't tell you. I don't know. That sounds. I don't know. I feel like that sounds. It doesn't sound like that sounds bad. I don't know though. It doesn't sound good. $15 As return goes in net by Jovic. 30-15. I'm just kidding. I don't have any kids. I thought that was a joke. 30-15. Yeah, Pegula's been in top 10 since mid-2022, yeah. As with a 4-4 rally up the line from Jovic. Backhand passing shot's good, but Jovic with the volley. And then Pegula puts away the forehand pass. 4-15. Great play by Pegula. Cam is wearing Hilltop Hood's chain. Bro, that is such a niche reference that nobody outside of Australia would get. And no, this is just a normal chain that I wear normally. All right, 2-0. Two all. Bombers game's on a 24-hour delay. Well, the Bombers game starts in, I think, like in 15 hours, maybe. That goes out by Pegula on the return, 15-love. By the way, chat was so funny. I went to the city yesterday, walked around all day. It was great. And then coming home on the train, Richmond, who are one of my team's mortal enemies, right? It's like Arsenal versus Tottenham, right? It's like, I don't know, Lakers, Celtics, right? And it was so funny coming back on the train because Richmond were down by like 20 points and people had left before the match had finished and they got on the train. I'm like, they must be losing. And there was all these Tigers supporters on the train. And the match was still going. I'm like, it hasn't even finished yet. They lost by like 40 points, which was so funny. But it was just funny watching them like all get on the train. They all left early. They couldn't stand to see their terrible team lose. Am I a Spursy? No, up the Arsenal. Are you kidding me? 40-love. Are you kidding me? What do we think of Spurs? They're shit. All right, 40-love. What's the chant that I heard? What do we think of Tottenham? They're shit. What do we think of shit? Tottenham. And then they just... English chants are the best. All right, 40-love. As a find in the net by Pegula. 3-2, Jovic. All right, Jovic. Is there a fire drill? I should have started. I should have said that on the train. That is a good one. I love that chant. I think that's so funny, that one. That's a good one. I think Arsenal might be the only team that's actually doing any good at the moment for me. My football team sucks right now. My baseball team is every win's a win. We celebrate every single win. So yeah, I think Arsenal might be my only hope. Do you think Jovic takes a second? Probably, because Pegula only plays 3 setters. So. You guys did beat the Blue Jays. Yeah, we did. We smoked them. And then we beat them again 2 days later. We beat 2 out of 3. We beat them 2 out of 3. Crazy. What are we playing today? I know we played the Phillies yesterday, and we're not going to talk about that. But are we playing today? Oh, speaking of Arsenal, they're playing 30 minutes. Let's go. All right, we're playing about 5 hours. We're playing against we've got the Phillies again. Oh, it's a 4-day series. All right. 3-2 Jovic. The backhand out of the forehand of Pegula. Forehand now from Jovic. The backhand of Pegula is Jovic. Again to the backhand of Pegula. Slice lob goes into the net. And it's love 15. Love 15. As Pegula serves again. As that goes in by Jovic, and it's 15-0. Cam's chat just gave me a pop-up message for over 50s dating. Hey, look, that says more about you than me, right? Just that's the algorithm talking to you. That's not me talking to you. That's YouTube. That's YouTube telling you. I don't know if you. I mean, yeah, that wasn't me. All right. 15:30. Jovic a chance to take the break here in the second. Jovic was up a break in the first. As the backhand from Pegula into the backhand of Jovic. Pegula backhand of the forehand of Jovic. Pegula backhand into the backhand of Jovic. But Jovic hit it wide and it's 30-0. Finals have changed tomorrow. Yeah, so are they earlier or later? All right, 30-0. As that goes out, the return from Jovic, 40-30. As Jovic is out, and Pegula holds 3-0. Back to Jovic. As Jovic serves. As the backhand now from Jovic and the backhand Pegula up the line to the forehand of Jovic on the stretch in the net. It's love 15. Not before 1 p.m. Is that earlier or later than it was supposed to be? I guess it was supposed to be at like 3 p.m., right? 15 all. Has Jovic with another good serve. 30-15. As Jovic serves. A fault. Second serve. By the way, chat, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And also don't forget to like the video. We're almost at 200 likes. There's a 4-4 rally. And Pegula hits it out, 40-15. As Pegula returns into the forehand of Jovic, but Pegula hit it out. All right, Jovic 4-3. All right. 4-3. How we doing, chat? What's up? What's everyone doing for Easter? Anybody doing anything interesting? I am going to sleep all day. This set is much quicker than the first. I know, right? It's only been 30 minutes. Which is nice. Probably drinking my supper. There you go. Your birthday's today. You're 55. Hey, happy birthday. Happy Easter. I wasn't sure if you all celebrate on the same day as us, but best wishes to you and yours. Hey, thank you, Deja. You too. Yeah, Easter, I think, is the same like everywhere, right? It's not like other holidays. Gil predicted Zverev to beat Sinner at Monte Carlo. Why is that funny? Why are you laughing? Is that so ridiculous? I don't think so. Look, I contemplated picking Zverev instead of Sinner this week. So first week we're playing on clay. Zverev's very capable on clay. Sinner hasn't played Monte Carlo for 2 years. I mean, is that so ridiculous to think that Zverev could beat Sinner? Also, Zverev played very well against Sinner in Miami and in New Wells. And the clay, you would say it would give Zverev more of a chance on clay. Arguably, Sinner's weakest surface against Zverev's favorite surface. I mean, is that so strange? Yeah, if Zverev is going to beat Sinner anywhere, it's going to be on clay court. Exactly. So I'm not. Why would that be funny? Also, Gil's smart. Gil knows what he's talking about. Why would you? That's not so outrageous. I respect that pick. 40 love, by the way. There's a backhand return. Goes out by Jovic, 4-0. Gil is king. Yeah, Gil knows what he's talking about. All right. Sinner will get enough time to hit winners on clay. So was Zverev. Gil's playing the fantasy tennis as well. I think everyone is. I think like most people would be. It's great. Everybody should be involved. It's a great competition. Fun competition. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what his team looks like. How do we join it? You can join it by clicking the link and then using that code to join the league. 4-4. This goes out by Pegula and it's 15 love. You and Gil both know tennis, so it'll be interesting to see what both your teams look like. Yeah, don't focus on me. No, not my team. Don't worry, my team. I'm just playing for fun. Yeah, I'm not taking it too seriously. I'm just playing. We're just playing, having fun. I'm just picking my favorite players. I'm not picking strategically at all. No pressure on me, please. 40 love. Yeah, it's not that deep. Yep. Don't judge me by my team. 40 love. 40 love. There's a drop shot from Jovic. Pegula comes to the net though, and then Jovic passes her, and it's 5-4 Jovic in the second. Pegula will serve to stay in the set. Yeah, I think with this competition, I'm trying to pick a good team, but yeah, I wonder how it's going to work though, because it is new, so there's not really any idea of how to I got some ideas of how to strategize and try and play this game the best you can, but it's such a new game that you don't know what the best strategy is. Is there a strategy, or is it just dumb luck? At the end of the year, the best you want to have the best players on your team, right? And that's how most fantasy team games at the end of the season, or towards the second half of the season, you want to have as many. The goal for me anyway is to get Alcaraz, Sinner, Djokovic, Zverev. Maybe not Djokovic; he doesn't play enough, but you want to get the best 4 players in the world on your team at some point. Now you can't do that on the day one because you just have enough coins. But by the time you get to the end of the year, you want to have the 4 best players in the world, right? At least the 4 best players. So you got to figure out a way. You got to figure out a way of how to upgrade players and trade and do strategic swaps to get enough coins to try and accomplish that. It's going to be very hard. You're going to have to pick someone who's probably outside the top 20 to make top 10 and then upgrade them into someone like a Zverev, right? That's part of it. But then also part of it is week-to-week points. Sometimes Sinner's not going to play every week, right? So you're going to have to change Sinner and you got to strategically pick, trade out, switch players in a way that you get enough points that week. It also is luck. Because obviously, sometimes you got to have a luck. Maybe the player that you have on your bench makes the final randomly, right? Like Lehechka did the other week. So, yeah, it's a little bit of everything. You want to try and upgrade your team to be the best team you can have. Plus, you want to be the one. Djokovic is probably not going to be someone I'm picking outside of slams because he doesn't play. So having Djokovic on your team every week is going to be a waste of time, right? He doesn't play. He only plays Grand Slam. So why would you have Djokovic on your bench or even on your team? He's too expensive. you want to use that. You'd rather have Zverev, right? Zverev is active. He plays every week. He plays every week. Zverev is probably a good pick if he wins and he also plays every week. That's a safe pick, right? Anyways, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. Starts tomorrow. All right, 30 love. 30 love. And we have our own league, so you can join our league and we can try and we can see who can do the best in our community. I've got a double fault from Pegula, 30-15. Oh no, I was only the first serve. Okay, here we go. Serve again. Then the umpire made a mistake. So we got a let by Pegula. Still 30 love. As we're back, forehand return now the backhand slice of Pegula. Backhand out from Jovic. Into the slice of Pegula. Jovic backing up the line. Goes long. And it's 40 love. If Fonseca makes a fourth round or more, I'll consider it a great effort. Oh, yeah. You have Fons on the bench? Okay. Yeah, I'm really interested to see how people have what's the strategy of what people are actually how people are picking their teams. Is it a forehand up the line from Pegula? It goes long. 40-15. Are people picking Sinner and then a bunch of lower ranked players, or are they picking Alcaraz and a bunch of lower ranked players, or people picking Sinner and Alcaraz? And then picking a bunch of really cheap players, or somebody, Yeah, it'd be interesting. Because it is different to other fantasy sports, because other fantasy sports, you pick players, they play every week. With tennis, everyone doesn't play every week. So you've got to... Yeah, you've got every week. It's going to be interesting. 40-30. Because whereas if you had if you pick fantasy football, you can just pick the same player and they're going to play every single match, right? Every week. So you really don't have to. You can set and forget, right? Whereas there's going to be weeks where you're going to have the week before Roland Garros is going to be really weird because that week not many of the big players play. So if you have a big, you can't really you can only make 2 trades. So after Rome is going to be a tough week. Because what? Do you trade out Alcaraz and then bring him back in for Roland Garros? Maybe. It's that's going to be a tough week. Between Rome and Roland Garros, I don't know if the entry list is out yet, but you might need to pick some players now who are going to play in Geneva and Hamburg. If it's Geneva before Hamburg is, right? As Jovic is a winner, 15 love. I mean, I don't want to put any pressure on everybody, but the decisions you make now might affect you in Geneva. All right. Jovic is a beautiful winner down the line, and it's 15 love. Yeah, the entry list hasn't even come out for that tournament yet, so we can't even look that far ahead. 15 love. There's a backhand slice from Jovic into the backhand slice of Pegula. Jovic backhand again, the backhand of Pegula. Into the backhand of Jovic, up the line to the forehand of Pegula. Pegula hits it wide. I don't know anything about tennis. Who do you think is going to win? Pegula. Djokovic plays only slams and a few masters, yeah. So he's someone that I probably wouldn't start with. Well, yeah, you wouldn't put him in this week anyway. Because he's not playing this week. Whatever you do, chat, don't have any players in your team this week that are not in the main draw Monte Carlo. That's it. If I can give you one thing, make sure that everybody on your team, bench included, is playing this week. Start with a full team, full roster with everybody, and then make trades. next week, right? Because if you go in this week with people that are injured or people that are not playing, you're just wasting an opportunity. You can always bring in those people next week. Like, Tommy Paul's not playing next week. Bring him in the week after, but don't start with Tommy Paul because he's not playing next week. Like, it's a waste of a pick. Bring him in when he plays. Don't start with him. Don't start with Feast, right? Because Feast isn't playing this week. He's playing next week. He's playing in Barcelona, I think. So bring him in for Barca, but don't start with him in Monte Carlo. He's not playing. Like, that's the only thing I would recommend. Make sure that everybody who is on your team this week is playing. Paul's playing in Houston. That's why he's not playing Monte Carlo. As with a 4-1 winner there from Jovic, 40-15. Like, you don't want to have players in your team not earning points this week. You want to have everybody on the team getting points. Just do that, and then go from there. Is what I would suggest. That's it, and then go from there. That would be my only thing. I'll tell you, Chad, looking at the one coin price, there are not many players to pick from, especially because most of them haven't even qualified yet. God, it sucks that they've done it this way. Like, do you pick Garin to beat Basilashvili to qualify? Maybe. But Garin's like 2 coins, so you can't even pick him. Anyways, just take 7 10 coin players. You could try and do that. Yeah, you could definitely. I mean, there's not 10. I mean, I don't think you could pick 7 10 coins, but you could definitely pick. Look, there is definitely a strategy where you could pick. Let's say you could pick Rude, Kaboli, Rublev, Medvedev, Cerundolo, Lehechka, Daderi, right? And you could probably have some money left over. But if you do that, it's going to be very hard to get Alcaraz in the future. Or Sinner. Because both of those guys, the prices are based on rankings. It's very unlikely they're not going to be top 2 at the end of the year. So it's going to be very hard to upgrade from a 10 coins to a 40 coin player. That's very hard because they're not going to probably drop off those 2 spots. They're going to stay there all year. You could go from a Zverev to a Sinner maybe, but I don't think you could go from a Rublev to a Sinner unless you had Zverev and you got rid of him and then you replace, like, you know what I'm saying? And it was love 30. Love 30. As Pegula tries to get to a tiebreak. Backhand to backhand rally. As Pegula goes up the line of the forehand of Jovic. Forehand from Pegula. Into the forehand of Jovic. Pegula forehand up the line is wide. Love 40. Set points for Jovic to take us to a third. Also, Paul won the first set against Big Foe. All right, love 40. As the return goes in, the forehand of Pegula. Jovic backhand. Into the back of Pegula. Jovic forehand again, the back of Pegula. Jovic with the backhand in the net. One save, 15-40. Please don't put scores in the chat. Still set point 15-40. 7 the backhand of Jovic. Pegula backhand to the forehand of Jovic. Jovic in the net. 2 saved. 30-40. As return goes back to Pegula. Jovic backhand. Still got set point in here as Pegula backing up the line. Jovic forehand. Down the line winner. We're going 3. Jovic takes the second. 7-5. She steals the second. We're going 3. Pegula and 3 setters in Charleston. That's just it. That's how it is. That's just the way it is. It always is going to go 3. Come on now. We know that. Come on now. All day. All right. We are going 3, baby. That's it. All right. Was that the only break in the set? Yeah, it was. That were the only break points of the set. Jovic, 11 winners, 6 errors. Pegula, 4 winners, 10 errors. Ouch. But yeah, only break points of the set were those 3 break points at the end there. Crazy. Anyways, we're going 3. Jovic's going to serve first in the third. Jovic only lost 4 points on serve. Yeah, her first and second serve percentages were crazy. All right. By the way, Jovic serving first in the third. So that is also an interesting thing to worry about if you're Pegula. Pegula looking tired? Yeah, but she looked tired yesterday. First set of Pegula that Jovic has won. Yeah, true. I mean, they've only played once, so she's won. She's won the first set out of two meetings. So. All right, Jovic to serve first in the third. Let's see if Pegula can get out of this one. It's been a long match too, nearly 2 hours for 2 sets, so it's been a bit of a marathon. All right, 15 love. As Jovic serves again. Was that an Ellen Iverson 76 shirt? Yes. All right, 15-0. As Jovic serves again. Also, I think the store that I got this from, I think it closed recently, which is sad. That's some really good stuff. Oh no, they still got some stuff. I might actually buy some more. All right, 30-15. As Jovic tries to get off to a good start. 4-15. As we return up the line from Pegula, it's 40-30. And Jovic serves again. As that goes out by Pegula, and Jovic holds. 1-love in the final set. All right. Back to Pegula. 1-love. Jovic. Oh yeah, I want to talk about one battle after another. I keep watching that scene where he gets pulled out, where Benicio del Toro gets pulled over by the police, and they're like, "Have you been drinking, sir?" And he's like, "I've had a few, a few small beers." I love it. I'm like, that is. I'm going to use that every time. I've had a few. Not that I drink and drive. Just in life, I've had a few. Drink, few small beers. 30-15. I'm like, oh, that's so funny. I think that is one of the best scenes in the movie. A few small beers. 30-15. I've had a few. backhand rally. As Pegula hits it long, it's 30-0. Sean Penn had me cry. Yeah, Sean, I tell you, he deserved the Oscar. I mean, that was crazy. His character was crazy. Like, when you forget that who's the actor, that's when you know they're doing good. If you completely forget who that is, you know. There's a phone up the line from Pegula. That's too good. 40-30. Like Sean Penn. Like, at times I'm just like, oh shit, yeah, he's that actor. You just completely go, who is this guy? This guy's crazy. Uh, 40-30. It's like, isn't it by Pegula? And we get the deuce. The movie had a lot of action at the start. Oh yeah, and at the end, the car chase, that was crazy. Deuce. As a backhand return, the backhand of Pegula. Backhand off the tape from Pegula goes wide, and it's advantage Jovic to get the break. The bank robbery scene, yeah, that was crazy too. Now we'd fault second serve. As return goes to the backhand of Pegula. Jovic to the backhand. To the backhand of Pegula up the line. Great shot. Jovic slides in the net and Pegula survives. Deuce. Unpopular opinion, I wanted Stellan Skarsgård to win the supporting actor. What was he in? I wanted Benicio del Toro to win, but I hadn't seen the movie, so I didn't realize that he was up against his own co-star. Sentimental value. I don't know what that was about. Oh, it's a Norwegian film. Was it? No. Drama. I haven't seen it. I don't know what. Was he good? All right, advantage Pegula. There's a forehand on the stretch. Into the forehand of Jovic. Up the line to the back of Pegula. Slice. Jovic gets the point. We're back to deuce. We're back to deuce. All right, we're back to the deuce. Pegula trying to hold. As Pegula down another break point. Advantage Jovic. Advantage Jovic. As a return from Jovic, Pegula hits a forehand long. There's the break. Jovic has won like what? 5 games in a row? All right. Two love. As Pegula hits a backhand down the line winner. And it's love 15. I'll tell you, chap, every time I watch Pegula this week, it's been epic. So we haven't been... I said we were going to watch... we were going to watch sporadically this week. So I'm glad that we haven't watched any boring matches this week. Besides, I think the Chen match at the start of the week was the only match that was straightforward. What was it? Chen versus Kessler was the only match that was sort of one-sided. Every other match we watched, Pegula, every day has played 3 sets. Bencic Keys was a great match yesterday that we got to watch. So we've picked, we've picked wisely. Love 30, by the way. So yeah, I haven't woken up and watched 1-hour matches all week. It's been worth it. All right, love 30 though. Jovic is not out of this yet. She double faults. Love 40. Love 40. By the way, apparently there's a rain delay in Houston. Is that true? As we had a forehand from Jovic. That goes out. Pegula breaks straight back. Just like that. Pegula breaks straight back. All right. Back on serve straight away. We are back on serve. It's pouring in Houston? Okay. Fair enough. Cam's fit is sick. Yeah. I forgot that I had this. I found it. I'm like, all right, I gotta wear this. And yeah, the company that make these is unfortunately gone out of business, but I should get a tennis one. Is there anyone doing tennis ones? Yeah, that's a couple. All right, 2-1. We're back on serve. Is it a backhand from Jovic? Pegula puts up the pass, but it's a very nice volley from Jovic. And it's love 15. Pegula did basically nothing to get the break. Okay. Tiafoe Paul's match has been rain delayed. So that's why it's not currently being played. What's the score over there? That's a good question. Wait, did they finish? No. Yeah, what the hell? Ah, 4-3-4 in the second. Paul won the first. All right. As Jovic comes to the net, but misses 15-0. How do they deal with rain delay on clay? They just cover the courts and wait for the rain to stop. Unless they don't have a cover on the court. Your scoreboard is displaying wrong? What do you mean? It's 15. It's 15-0. Don't worry, the scoreboard will update. It'll fix itself, don't worry. All right. Sorry, it's 30-0. It is right on the score. The scoreboard's wrong on the TV. 30-40. All right. Break point for Jovic. 30-40. Return goes back into Pegula. Into the 40 Jovic. Jovic to the net. We get the deuce. All right. 4 now. Up the line from Pegula is a winner. All right. Pegula to take the game and level as we had a 4-4 rally. Pegula in the net, back to deuce. All right, back to deuce. 2 2. The finals tomorrow. As a default second serve. As Jovic is in the net. And it's advantage. Pegula. As Pegula makes another error, it's back to deuce. This match has been a battle. Deuce. We're just getting started in this final set as well. As a fine slice from Jovic, the backhand of Pegula up the line to the forehand of Jovic. Pegula backhand. Nope. Jovic hit it long and it's advantage Pegula. Advantage Pegula. And then Jovic finally hits it out and Pegula finally holds. It's 2-0. Final set. Yeah, these two played in Dubai. It was straight sets Pegula. All right, 22 minutes played. Final set 2-0. It's been a marathon. Pegula, by the way, is just not having fun. She is looking all kinds of worried this week. She's played a lot of tennis. It's been a busy week. She's played like 10 hours in 4 matches. If she wins this title, she earned it. Now, Jovic serves a fault second serve. All right, 15 love. As Jovic serves again. A fault, second serve. There's a backhand from Jovic. Into the forehand of Pegula. And Pegula puts away the winner, 15-0. As we're back in the backhand rally, that goes out by Jovic, 15-30. As we get a backhand rally. And Jovic hits it wide, 15-40. Pegula has got break points. Are you going to bet after this? Yeah, I'm going to pass out after this. I have to get my sleep schedule on working. My sleep schedule's been a mess this week. All right. 15-40. As a return goes in the backhand of Jovic. Backhand of Pegula with the slice of Jovic. Pegula with a drop shot. Jovic gets over the slice down the line. Pegula with the forehand pass is a lob. Jovic puts away the smash, and it's 30-40. One saved. By the way, I think these are the first break points Pegula's had. Since like 5 minutes ago when she broke. Don't mind me, it's 5 in the morning. I'm tired, all right? Leave me alone. Jovic survives. We get to deuce. So many break points in this match. All right, serve again. Into the backhand of Pegula. Not many breaks, though, which is good. There's Jovic in the net. It's advantage. Pegula to the break, final set. Who created break point in 5 minutes, exactly. All right, advantage Pegula. As the backhand return goes long, and we get back to deuce. Winner of this will play either Staraptipseva or Madison Keys, who are playing in the next match. All right, we get back to deuce. Jovic serves a fault, second serve. Serving to the forehand of Pegula. Return goes to the forehand of Jovic. Pegula forehand. Getting the forehand of Jovic. Pegula slice. Jovic comes in with a volley. Smart shot. And it's advantage Jovic. All right. Advantage Jovic to keep the lead. Final set. Serve to the forehand Pegula. Good return. Jovic backhand in the net. We get back to deuce. All right, serve again. Into the backhand of Pegula. Return goes backhand of Jovic. Pegula backhand on the stretch. Jovic backhand up the line. Pegula's over the forehand as Jovic forehand goes long, and it's advantage Pegula to take the break. I like the fit cam. Thanks. All right, advantage Pegula. As Jovic serves a fault. Second serve. As the return goes in the backhand of Jovic. Jovic in there. There's the break. 3-2 Pegula. Final set. She breaks and leads. After Jovic had an early break, Pegula broke back and she's won the last 3 games in a row. 30 minutes played already in this final set. Cam, what do you think of potentially a Tsitsipas versus Sinner match? Tsitsipas has a terrible first round, so I don't... I feel like we got to watch him play Cerundolo first. It is a tough start to the tournament for Steph. Like he's got to play Cerundolo, then he's got to play maybe Mahatch, and then Sinner. And Fran's been playing pretty well on clay this year, so yeah. So I don't even know if he makes it. He should though. I mean, Tsitsipas in Monte Carlo is just a different thing, right? He should make the third round, but I mean, Cerundolo should not be overlooked. A tough first round. Schedule's out for what? Oh, for tomorrow? For here or okay? So 1 p.m. right? All right. Thank you, Dutchie. We'll have to figure out what we do tomorrow because we've got Monte Carlo. We've got this tournament. So what's 1 p.m. in Charleston? It's not 5 a.m. my time, is it? That's not. That can't be. Is that real? No. It's 4. Wait, what? God damn it. That can't be right. Charleston 1 p.m. No. It's 2 a.m. my time. Okay, it's okay. That's fine. I can do 2 a.m. We'll be awake at 2 a.m. What's the time in Charleston right now? It's 3 p.m. Okay. So minus, what are we doing? So 3 a.m. 3 a.m.? Yeah. 3 a.m. Yeah, all right. Yeah, we changed the clocks already. I changed the clock like an hour ago, 2 hours ago. The change has been had. All right, 30 love here, Pegula. Return goes to forehand of Pegula into the backhand of Jovic. Slice Pegula. In the backhand of Jovic up the line. That's a good shot. Pegula pass. Jovic volleys. Pegula pass. Is a winner. 40 love. I mean, we probably... So tomorrow we're going to watch... We'll watch the Sinner doubles, maybe. And then... Because he's playing Rude, so that's actually a really fun match. And then we'll watch the Charleston final, because we've been watching it all week, basically. 40 love, by the way, as Pegula says, a fault second serve. In terms of singles matches tomorrow, though, it's pretty slim picking. As Pegula still a chance to hold here, 40-15. We've got Nori Kecmanovic, Monfils Grigspor, Kwame Humbert. I feel like it's a good opportunity to watch Monf and Kwame, but again, we'll see how it goes. And then we can watch the final of Charleston after that. We have options. We have options. Anyways, Pegula holds 4-2. Final set. We have options. Zverev and Alcaraz on opposite sides of the draw. Zverev and Sinner in the same half. Google says check to see if daylight savings is active in your area. Well, it's active in my area because all my clocks went backwards. At 3 a.m. it turned into 2 a.m. and I gained an hour that I didn't need. I'm like, I started in 5 minutes. Nope, you started in an hour and 5 minutes. Oh, okay. I'll just stay up at 3 in the morning for no reason. For another hour, that's fine. So currently it's 6:30 a.m. in my brain, but in reality it's 5:30. I love 15. Things are getting a little ugly for Jovic. She's lost 4 games in a row. She needs this game. Love 15. Medvedev and Zverev are in the same quarter, so it's Medvedev, Zverev, winner plays Sinner. That's what might happen. As that goes out by Pegula, 15-0. As the return goes into the forehand of Jovic, forehand from Pegula down the line is wide, 30-15. All right, 30-15. Serve in the back of the Pegula, sorry. Jovic wins a point. Pegula hit it wide. 40-15. As the return gets a forehand of Jovic. Forehand from Pegula on the stretch. Jovic hits it into the ground. All right, 40-30. Nice passing shot by Pegula. That was a good slice forehand. That was a tough shot. Jovic hit it. Tried to hit off her feet. 40-30. As Jovic serves a fault, second serve. Serving the forehand of Pegula, backhand from Jovic. Into the backhand of Pegula. Jovic with the backhand. Again, the backhand of Pegula. Pegula hits it long. Jovic holds. Keeps this match alive, but it's 4-3 Pegula in the final set with a break. Still quite close match. Oh, yeah. One break is nothing. I feel Jess is deliberately making it to third sets every time to win. Why would she do that? Like, let's play this game for like just a second. All right. So like, okay, let me entertain. Like, okay, explain to me why she would want to do that. Why would Jessica Pegula want to deliberately lose sets to play 3-set matches? Why would you do that? I am like you could totally make the argument that she wants more practice. But every day, every match. Like every match? Like I can understand it for like maybe the first match where she's like, oh, I want to play some more tennis. But like every match? Like that's crazy. We can't be serious. There's no way she wants to play like 10 hours in 4 matches. But is there another reason why you think why would she lose a set deliberately? Any other reasons? Do you have any reason that I haven't thought of? All right, 4-3 Pegula. She's got to hold serve twice and she wins this match. She's in the final. Defending champion, by the way. She won this tournament last year. Serve to the backhand of Jovic. Backhand of Pegula to the backhand of Jovic. Up the line is a good shot. Pegula puts up a lob, but it's short, and Jovic puts away the volley. Do you think Alcaraz would beat Prime, Nadal, and Clay? No. As the return goes out by Jovic, 15-0. As As the backhand return goes into the backhand, Pegula, drop shot's good, but Jovic can get there with a forehand. Pegula with a lob. Jovic with a smash. Goes in. Wasn't great. Pegula gets it back. Drop shot Jovic. Pegula drop shot is too good. Nice play by Pegula. 30-15. Great drop shot. As Pegula serves a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Into the backhand of Jovic, but Jovic maybe got a bad bounce on that second serve because she misread that. I think that might have had a bad bounce off the clay. All right, 40-15. Pegula to go to 5-3. As a backhand rally. And Jovic in the net. Pegula. 5-3, final set. I actually think Alcaraz could beat prime Nadal on clay. Alcaraz can overpower him and outwork him in points. What are we doing? What are we doing? So how is this even a question? Like, this is such a dumb question. How Nadal is not only is Nadal the final boss, right? Nadal on clay is the final boss. He's the boss after the final boss when you think you finished the game, but then there's a surprise boss. And you're like, no, there's actually another, like in Pokemon where you beat the Elite Four and then you gotta beat your rival. And you don't realize that's the case. You're like, I just beat the four. No, you gotta beat the other guy too. This is a secret final boss you didn't even know in the game. That's what Nadal on clay is. That's how hard he is. It's the hardest thing to beat Nadal on clay, let alone prime Rafa. What are we doing? How is this even a conversation? No one. Alcaraz, Djokovic prime, Federer prime, team prime. None of these guys could do it. How is Alcaraz going to be able to do that? Alcaraz is a great player. Nadal prime is ridiculous. That's not even one match to save your life. Nadal on clay is who you pick if you want to survive. That's it, because he doesn't lose. Nadal prime on clay. That's the guy that's saving your life. One match to save your life. You pick the surface, you pick the player, you pick Nadal on clay. That's it. You take an Alcaraz, okay, you got recency bias. We all forgot. You all forgot. Go watch Nadal prime on clay back in the early 2000s. Hey, the early 2010s, sorry. Or even the late 2010s. You go watch Nadal 2019 on clay. It's not even prime Rafa. Come on now. Come on. We forget so easily. Crazy. Nadal prime. I mean, he was beating Federer. He was bageling prime Federer. 2007. He was bageling prime Federer. It's 30-15. I'm pretty sure he's the only player to bagel Djokovic and Federer in a Grand Slam final. I don't think anyone else has done that. Both of them on clay. 13 years apart. But did he beat it? Actually, did he beat Federer? Did he get Federer and Nadal? Oh, wait, hang on. Maybe I got the Federer one wrong. Did he not? I know he destroyed Federer at Roland Garros once, but I don't think he beat him. Did he beat him, Love? Or was it 1-1 and 2 or something? No, it was 1-3 in Love. No, I got that right. All right. Yeah. That was 13 years apart. Come on. This is not even a conversation. This is not even a question. No one beats prime Nadal on clay. No one. You put anybody in the history of tennis, now or before, nobody does that. Djokovic couldn't do it. Federer couldn't do it. Alcaraz couldn't do it. He wouldn't be able to do it. As great as Alcaraz is, I love Alcaraz. He's great. I didn't buy these things for no reason. But he ain't beating Rafa on clay. Prime Rafa on clay. Ain't going to happen. Better players have tried. Right? And they couldn't do it either. Anyways, Jovic is in trouble here. She's 2 points away. We got distracted. Yeah, the only person who could beat Prime Rafa on clay would be Prime Rafa on clay. Return goes into the backhand of Jovic. And Jovic just missed it. We're going to match point for Pegula. Advantage Pegula to take her spot in the final. Defending champ. Advantage Pegula. Match point. As Jovic serves. Into the backhand of Pegula. Return goes for Jovic. Pegula forehand to the back to the forehand of Jovic again. Pegula backhand on the stretch, puts up a lob. Jovic to the forehand. Pegula gets up with another lob. In comes Jovic with a drive forehand winner. We're back at deuce. Good hole, a good save. Back to deuce. Back to deuce. As Jovic serves again. Into the backhand of Pegula. Backhand from Jovic to the backhand of Pegula. Jovic went down the line, but she missed. And it's advantage Pegula. Match point number 2. To make the final. She has earned her spot in the final, Pegula. She has worked so hard this week just to be here. All right, advantage Pegula. As Jovic serves the fault. Second serve. Second serve. Into the back of Pegula. Return to the front of Jovic. Great shot. Pegula in the net. And we get back to deuce. Jovic saves 2 match points. Prime Sampras beat Nadal on clay. Could Sampras beat Prime Nadal on clay? Come on now. I'll tell you though, Sampras and Rafa on grass, that would have been a fun match. Can you imagine that? Wimbledon? Sampras, Nadal at Wimbledon? But we're not talking like 2005, like 2006 Wimbledon. We're talking like 2001 Wimbledon. You know, with that grass. Wimbledon grass. Even though, I mean, even then, it's still interesting if it was like 2007 grass. Forehand goes wide by Jovic. Another match point for Pegula. That's it because there's big hitters have beaten Nadal on grass. Sampras Nadal on grass would have been a real fun match. Maybe it doesn't even need to be fast grass. Maybe it could be just the 2010s grass. Be very interesting. Anyways, advantage Pegula. Match point number 3. To play the final tomorrow. Return goes into the front of Jovic. Jovic hits it wide. Pegula wins another epic. As she shakes her head, she's like, I don't deserve to be in the final. Yes, you do. You've worked your ass off. She's played 10 hours on court. She's in the final. And they hug it out of the net. Pegula's into the final, defending champ. And Jovic, though, good. That was a good effort. She got not destroyed by Pegula when they played last time, but she did get beaten pretty easily. So at least Pegula's still shaking her head. She's like, I don't even know how I got in the final. Jovic, that was an improvement. So Jovic, and also I think it proves that Jovic is going to be a clay court problem. Shouldn't be dismissed. You know, that was a good effort. Semi-final of a clay event, plus you push for Pegula on a clay court. I mean, she's going to be interesting to watch on the clay. But Pegula just can't stop winning in 3 sets. And the winner plays, now the winner of the next match will play Pegula. So it could be Keys Pegula final. Unless Starapdipseva decides to make the upset, which she could. Starapdipseva's had a good week. Johnny Mac's always trying to step on the head of Nadal so he can be taller. Nah, look, you got it. Look, I know where people come from. Johnny Mac's saying, like, you know, these new guys could beat these guys, other guys, whatever. That's what they're always going to say. So then we talk about them. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to say that. Look, he might believe it too. Like, he might believe that Alcaraz could beat prime Nadal on clay, right? Whatever. I don't even know if he said that, but if he said that, he probably does believe it. He wouldn't have said it if he doesn't. But, like, doesn't mean we have to, like, you know, we don't have to believe it. That's a sensational claim. When will Tommy match resume? I have no idea. Because it's raining. So, I have no idea. No clue. Still raining? Yeah. No play before 3:30. There you go. Agree. 100% agree. Prime Nadal beats anybody. Past, future, and tennis greats of clay. Yeah. Look, could Alcaraz become somebody who could beat Nadal on clay, prime Nadal on clay? Maybe. We can't count it out. We can't say that, you know, nobody in the future could do it. But right now, I mean, just because Alcaraz has won a couple of French Opens and he's very good, he's dominant now. It is crazy to think that prime Nadal on clay is like impossible. And we're not talking like prime Nadal on clay and Nadal has a bad day. No. That's not how this conversation goes. Because then it's not prime Nadal if he's having a bad day. It's Nadal prime playing at Nadal's level. A prime level on clay. We're not talking about like prime Nadal who woke up with a cold and a flu. No. We're talking prime Nadal, prime, playing his tennis on that surface, unbeatable. Nobody beats that guy. Alcaraz can do it right now. Weston, you are living in a recency bias world. I like Alcaraz too. Alcaraz is great. He ain't beating him. He ain't beating prime Nadal on clay. So wait, do you think that Alcaraz can beat prime Djokovic on hard courts? Or prime Federer on grass? Because if you can beat prime Nadal on clay, then you can beat those other guys on their prime as well. I mean, because you're saying Alcaraz can do the impossible, that means Alcaraz can also beat prime Federer on grass and prime Djokovic on hard courts, which are, again, the final bosses of tennis. So if you're saying one thing, you're saying the other things. Because they're not as... I don't think prime Djokovic on a hard court is as good as prime Nadal on clay. But he's pretty close. So you're going to say that Alcaraz is better than both of that? That's crazy. And then Nadal... Then you got Federer on grass. Prime Federer on grass. You think that Alcaraz can beat him as well? So you're basically just saying that Alcaraz is the best player of all time at that point. Like, you just go, now we're just saying Alcaraz is the best of all time. He's, off a hypothetical. What? Come on. Respect Alcaraz, but we got to respect what Nadal has done. That's why Rafa's got 14 French Opens. Yeah. Yeah. No one's got more at one slam than Nadal. More titles at one slam. I mean, that's not an accident. A 14-time Roland Garros champion in his prime on that surface at that place. You think Alcaraz beats that guy? It's crazy. That is crazy. And look, I love Alcaraz, so now I feel like I'm. But Alcaraz, it's not like Alcaraz is like. Rafa's a lefty. It's not like Alcaraz hasn't lost to lefties. Humbert's beaten him. Norrie's beaten him on clay. Right? I know he was injured that day, but Norrie beat him on clay. Right? I know it was a few years ago, but also Norrie beat him on clay. It's not like Alcaraz doesn't lose to lefties. Now, if it goes 5, okay, we can have a conversation because now Alcaraz hasn't lost a 5-setter before. Or at least hasn't lost one for, he's unbeatable in 5 setters almost, right? But, again, Rafa doesn't go to 5 sets at Roland Garros very often. Like, what, twice, 3 times? So, that's another thing. Rafa doesn't go 5 either. If Alcaraz Rafa won't let it go 5. I'll tell you, if that match happened, I'd say 4 sets Rafa. But he ain't beating him. Alcaraz hasn't reached his prime. That's the thing, though, right? So if Alcaraz prime, we're doing Alcaraz now. Alcaraz prime, when we get to that, whenever it is, we'll talk about it then. But Alcaraz now doesn't beat Rafa prime on clay. That's nobody, not even Djokovic and Federer could do it. And some say Djokovic could be the second best clay courter of all time, right? People argue that. People say that, who's the second best clay courter? Borg, Federer, Djokovic, right? Djokovic is probably, then there's obviously Vilas and the Muster and, all these other guys, but no one's beaten Prime Nadal on clay. And I love Alcaraz. Can Sinner beat Prime Djokovic in Melbourne? No. And we just saw that because 38-year-old Djokovic just beat Sinner on in Melbourne. So we've already got no, because Prime Djokovic at Melbourne, again, beat Prime Federer, beat Prime Nadal. And we just, look, again, I like Jannik Sinner, but Sinner just lost to 38-year-old Djokovic in Melbourne. So that's not even a question. Why are we so quick to replace these guys? What are we doing? One of them's not even retired yet. How are we even having this conversation? This is silly. Prime goats beat, the reason why they're goats. Prime goats beat everybody. It's only when they play each other that it was who has the edge? Sinner and Alcaraz are not in that conversation yet. We should be saying okay, what does Prime Sampras on grass against Alcaraz, right? We should be talking about these guys versus Sampras or versus, Murray. We shouldn't be talking about these guys versus Prime goats. That's not fair on anybody. It's not fair on the goats who, because people disrespecting them, not forgetting what they did. But also not fair on Alcaraz and Sinner to compare them yet. They're too far away. We got. Let's come on. It's crazy. It's crazy talk. Next match. So we're back tomorrow to watch Monte Carlo. Hey, I think, Weston, we just need to agree to disagree because you're not going to be convinced that you're not going to change your mind, and there's no way I'm changing my mind. Nadal, prime Nadal on clay, will never be beaten. He was never beaten, and he will never be beaten. So, and again, when I say prime Nadal, I'm talking about he was playing at his prime. I know you said Soderling. If you know the story behind the Soderling loss, Rafa's not one for excuses. He's not an excuse guy. But there has been conversations after that Nadal wasn't feeling his best that tournament. He wasn't at his best that week. He went into that match not his prime. It was his prime era. His prime, prime tennis was around that time. Well, some would argue it was after that. But that's not prime Nadal. Soderling didn't beat prime Nadal. He beat Nadal around his prime, arguably, but he didn't beat prime Nadal. Nadal wasn't playing his play. That was nowhere near Nadal. Nobody beats prime Nadal. Nobody has beaten prime Nadal. Maybe Djokovic, but on clay, Roland Garros clay, no. Even Sampras lost one time in 8 years on grass. Well, yeah, exactly. And the guy, did he lose this? He lost to Krajicek, right? 2010 was Nadal prime. Well, there you go. Anyways, let's agree. Agree to disagree. I don't think Alcaraz would beat prime Nadal on clay, and you do, so we're fine. We don't have to agree. Cam, do you think that Gauff will defend her Roland Garros title and reach the semifinals or final at least? I think she'll reach. I think the semifinals will be a good pass. I think semifinals would be a good. If she can make the semis in her title defense, that's good. I don't think she needs to. I'm not expecting her to go back to back at the French. But if she does make the semis, that'd be good. That'd be a good defense. Because I tell you, I'm getting more and more bullish on Iga Swiatek. I might even put some money on Swiatek to win the French because, I mean, she must be a favorite still, but if she's not like a top 3 favorite, that's kind of crazy. I think Swiatek with Roige plus Rafa floating around the background. I mean, that is a hell of a situation. And it'd be crazy if Swiatek doesn't get a little bit better. Like, Swiatek's got to be top 2 favorite still, right? There's no way she's not top 3 favorite going to Roland Garros. She's got to be, right? Yeah, Swiatek is the favorite of the French. Ahead of Sabalenka. Coco's 3rd favorite, which is kind of interesting. Raducanu is 5th favorite. Swiatek favorite. That's interesting. I wonder if she became the favorite in recent days. I wonder if she was a favorite before the Roige news. But yeah, I think if Coco makes the semis, that's a pass. I don't think she needs to defend the title to prove anything. I think as long as she doesn't lose early in the tournament, that would be a disaster. I feel like Swiatek could beat Sabalenka on clay right now. That'd be really fun to see that match like before the French. We haven't even seen if Roige is actually going to help yet. Well, I'm optimistic, so. And Roige did help Raducanu in their working together. So, and Swiatek's already the thing with Swiatek is that he just has to remind her who she is. He doesn't even have to go in there and he doesn't have to go in there and teach her how to play on clay. She already knows all this stuff. It's just about getting her back into that. right? It's not like Wim Fizek coming on and teaching Swiatek how to be more aggressive to be able to win Wimbledon. Like this is going to be a go back to what you know, go back to your fundamentals, do all the things that you used to do, and taking it like helping her get back to that. She was already there. She's already one of the great clay court players of our time. It's getting her back to that. It's much easier than teaching someone from scratch how to win on clay. So that's going to already be so much easier. So I'm like, this is going to be good. Plus also the confidence she's going to gain from having Rafa be around, not during tournaments, but to have Rafa also believe in you in that way has got to give you a hell of a lot of confidence too. So I'm excited. I think Swiatek might be really back. Be scary. Unless she plays Penko. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Keep Penko out of this. Anyways, chat, I'm out of here. Thanks for sticking around. What a match. We've had Pegula's provided us with such great entertainment this week. So shout out to Pegula. And I'm glad that we've actually been able to have an accidental Pegula week. Because we always talk about how Pegula's so underrated. How, we don't talk about Pegula until she makes the semis. And we're like, oh, wow, now she's here. It's been so nice to actually be able to respect Pegula's game and watch it almost every day. We didn't watch her first round, but we've watched every match she's played since, and she has not disappointed. So I'm glad we've been able to unintentionally dedicate this week to Pegula and her game and the way that she's been able to prove to us why she's in the top. I think she's the third best player of the season behind Sabalenka and Raducanu, but if she wins Charleston, how do you not put her up there as the third best? But she's in the final. We'll watch her play the final tomorrow against either Keys or Starrup the Sever. They're about to play now. But I'll see you tomorrow. Monte Carlo starts tomorrow. Make sure you make your teams. We've got a league as well. Join the league, all those things. But yeah. We'll be back tomorrow to watch this final. Hopefully you can join us before that because Sinner's playing some doubles. But Pegula wins another 3 setup. 6-4, 5-7, 6-3. And she's into the final at Charleston.